Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ahsoka Talk.
Ahsoka Talk, I
Tonight.
like that.
Ahsoka Talk.
I thought you were going to say Ahsoka Tano. So,
my name is Jay, and with me, just about every time I've talked about Star Wars is my good friend Matt, aka at Everyday Inventors, aka co-host of the Star Wars podcast, Owen and Brews Barbecue. Matt, how are you doing tonight?
thank you. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me along on these Star Wars adventures. I know my co-hosts on Owen and Brews are a little jealous.
Oh wait, they're jealous that they don't get invited to
I
the.
think so. I do.
Oh.
I think they're annoyed when I appear on your show because I always get a little guff.
Should I invite them on, or should we just like keep it this way? Like, don't bring them on because they're kind of a lot. Let's just be honest.
You know what was a lot though was this finale, right? I mean,
okay. I'm so excited to talk about this finale. So I'm so grateful you're able to jump on and talk about it because, a lot happened and it cliffhangered the hell out of that cliffhanger. Because it's just it ended and it's like, well, when's the next one? Oh, you have nothing in the can. So
I guess, any more of those Ahsokas laying around?
Got more of Ahsoka's back there.
That's how I feel. Yeah.
I totally agree. So excited to talk to you about it. Frequent guests on the Star Wars shows is Ralph, but he's busy, shooting his movie.
He's getting lost.
And he's getting lost in the sauce, if you will, of making a Lost documentary. But he wanted to let us know that I can't make it, but make sure everybody knows I hated the finale. Like, what the hell?
I'm flubbergasted. I responded with then you truly are lost.
Yes.
Because that's how I feel when I talk to Nick.
Right? He's gone to the dark side.
I don't. Okay, so not only did I watch it once tonight, wife got home. She had parent-teacher conferences this week. She gets home. She wants to watch it, and she's just going to watch it on her phone.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, what do we know? No. We'll watch it again. Roll the tapes.
Let's run that one again.
Yeah, and we were all on board for that. So, even though there were cliffhangers, my kids and I felt like it was still satisfying. It didn't leave us kind of like.
There was several crying moments for Colleen and I, and Colleen, she's doing another podcast, so if she finishes early enough, I think she might join us a little bit later. But yeah, there was a lot of good stuff there. Before we get into anything though, let's say hello to the chat. The chat is hopping tonight. We got Joey Curell, we got Dora Laxian, Mr. Michael IT, Wages of Cine, Toy Gigasaurus, Andy Silva, Stephen Lawrence, Matt Bush, who I accidentally invited to do this stream because I was texting him on a different thread, and I was like trying to get the kids in the shower. So I was like, oh, let me give Matt the StreamYard link, and I sent it to Matt Bush instead of you, Matt. So Matt Bush could also join us at some point tonight.
He could have, I guess, been me.
Dora Laxian is here. popoloco.com. Charlie Weaver is here. Mutagen Ooze, Dartherian is here. Nelson A is here as well. Let's see, Make Mine Marvel Legends. Man, I can see a lot of Jay this week. Loving it. GDL, GDL2, GDL3, the Wife and Kids channel. I'm on here for all of them. Jack Knight is here. But yeah, a lot of people want to talk Star Wars. So let's talk about it. Let's start with, I don't know, we can pick wherever we want, but I feel like
you and I haven't talked about the fact that there were a couple episodes that we missed there.
That's true, yeah.
And I mean, we don't have to go into a deep dive on each one, but pray tell, how were your feelings leading up to this final episode? Like, we didn't discuss.
Yes, I have loved. Okay, before this series. Yes. I would probably say, as much as I love the Rogue One Andor verse, I like adore that. the Rebels show, I think, is my favorite Star Wars easily of the Disney era.
Disney era. Yes.
Easily, but it could also rival, or even I'd put it above the prequel era. The Clone Wars kind of saved prequel era for me.
Right.
But I really love the Rebels series. I love the family units. I love just the and the characters and the story and the lore. Like
it is a great show to watch if you have little kids too.
Yes.
Like Rebels is very easily accessible, and so our family as a journey. My son was probably like 5, when we got into it, and it was just like the perfect segue. It's like there's a father-son, passing on the Jedi. My son was convinced secretly that I was a Jedi and that I had like some hidden lair where I kept my ship. So we kept that going for a while.
Yeah.
So
that context.
Yes.
I have been over the moon with this series. Like, it is exactly what I want it to be. It is exactly live action Filoni-verse. Like, it is Filoni at his most Filoniness.
To me,
having a series.
This episode ended. This last one ended, and I just wanted to turn to my daughter. I was like, "This is peak Disney Star Wars. What we're getting right here. This is peak. This is like, give the man whatever creative like money flow that we need to make more of this." And she loves all of the mythology that he brings to it. She loves.
It's just he hits it. He hits the mythos. Like when we see the Mortis god statues, I'm like, yeah, and just because at first glance, I think we saw the mountain and that little shiny thing.
Yeah, that pyramid.
And I was like, oh, that's like Mortis. And then you see the statue like,
and leave it to my kids to argue about just about anything. Like seriously,
what were they arguing about?
What the hand was doing. And I was like, guys, like there's memes about this. We can just figure this out. So I'm like, we just Google it, and then I had to put the argument to rest. But it was like, was it pointing? Was it a fist? Was it open?
Was it open like this kind of?
It was a fist.
It was a fist?
It was a fist forward. Yeah. I know.
Okay, I thought it was an open hand.
Exactly. We didn't know. We had to go back and just look at the screenshot. But it is a fist. And that pyramid shape also kind of looks like that Sith temple on Malachor as well. It also has remnants of that. I know that it references Mortis for sure, and maybe that is the Mortis ship. Could they have landed there?
Or there's just there's just so much to explore there. Like, it's crazy. In Clone Wars, you had the Mortis trilogy, had that little thing, and then you had it slightly explored in Rebels, and that's how we got the doorway into the world between worlds,
right?
And now you've brought it into the live action realm, and the Mortis trilogy, my favorite thing in Clone Wars. And
can I say that I read a headline today that I just wanted to be like, who the fuck wrote this? Sorry, I don't know.
You get one F-bomb. There you go.
Usually I have to complain about Chris, because Chris always brings it on my show. So this article was like basically calling the Mortis the weirdest aspect of the weirdest aspect of Star Wars that was brought in. Or it was, and I was like, what are you talking about? The weirdest story? The weirdest story from Clone Wars era it's got to be Zero the Hutt's assassination by Cy Snoodles, right?
Yes.
Like, come on. You can't tell me Mortis is... If you're saying, like, ultra, like, thick mythology, make your head explode on what the Force really is...
Yes.
Then that's what it is, for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm not calling it the weirdest.
But and maybe that's not for everyone, but for me, like, I ate that up the first time I saw it. And then Colleen's been rewatching Clone Wars, and we just rewatched it this weekend. The Mortis was like, God, I love this so much, just because I feel like it truly taps into Anakin as the chosen one,
right?
And actually gives it meat. And then it truly helps like understand that too much good or too much evil is bad. Like you just need to have balance, and
that dynamic of both being a Padawan and being a
mm-hmm.
master, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
he has Obi-Wan there who's his mentor, and yet he's trained to be a mentor for Ahsoka. You have Ahsoka's death that occurs in that.
She dies. Like Ahsoka is dead.
Ahsoka is dead, and we have the daughter living.
And the daughter
her,
gives her life force, which from that point on, that's when she has, what's the owl creature again? I'm always forgetting.
Oh yeah. God, why am I blanking on it? We talked about it even tonight. Yeah. My daughter was just like, oh, it's blah blah blah, and I was like, yeah, it's
Mirai. Thank you, Mirai.
Yes,
Mirai.
Thank you.
But after the daughter gave her the life force, that's and I feel like from that point too, Ahsoka had this almost like, I won't say over-indexing to like, but this, I don't know, she always kind of represented the purest form of like the spirit of what a Jedi should be. Like beyond the politics and the draperies of it, I feel like Ahsoka always represented like the core of what Jedi should be or should represent. Even more so than the Jedi Order, which is why, she left or whatever. And that's why I thought it was kind of cool too, that the daughter was the only one that it was ripped off on the mountain. It was like,
the statues.
Ahsoka's the daughter.
Right. And you kind of, I know we're going right to the end here with this stuff, but obviously that's where it leaves us. It leaves us wanting more. And isn't it so Lostonian? Can we use that word, right?
Sure, yeah.
Like, I mean, you are from that, not you are from it, but I mean, even our friendship comes from just being part of the Lost universe, right? Ralph is off making a Lost documentary. For him to not like the last episode, I'm like, this has all of these. I mean, I read it. One of the comments in the chat earlier was just like, oh, so many unanswered questions, and I thought, welcome to Lost. Like so many unanswered questions, and yet we did get explanations as to how Morgan got the information to even make what she made. Like that was put there to let us know. Like she had these dreams.
Yeah.
She was called by these sisters. Yeah.
Well, to me, it is that at the beginning of the season, like, well, then how do they know where he is? And I'm like, this just seems like we were saying, like it's a MacGuffin, like, but then I think they really did bring it all together in a way that made sense. And even Lord Bailen, where like, because we were talking about these episodes as they were happening before, I was like, what is he up to?
What is he up to? He has an ulterior motive.
Yeah.
Right?
What is he sensing there?
And we didn't talk after the last episode, Dreams and Madness, but that battle between Bailen and Ahsoka, where she is now balanced. She is Ahsoka the White. She's balanced with the Force. She had that moment, and she even went back to a different pose and to a different stance, right? So as she battles him, she's ready. At that moment, it was kind of like, Balin's after something more powerful on this planet. He makes that reference earlier on, and it had to be something either world between worlds, or it could even be these Mortis gods to bring about pure balance, because that's what he, at least we're led to believe.
The Mortis gods are dead, right?
Mortis gods are dead, apparently.
So, well, and I think it was even, having just recently watched it, like the father said, hopefully Anakin, you do bring balance. And in a way he did. He brought the Jedi into balance and then eventually brought the Sith into balance and wiped them both out. And whatever he is in the afterlife, and clearly he's still hanging because he's helping Ahsoka in the world between worlds and obviously kind of watching over her, which is really cool. But I know there's this.
Filoni, that's the magic of Filoni, though, is that he takes something that Lucas did as a throwaway moment that you're like, come on, Lucas, why are you putting Anakin as a ghost, as the young Anakin?
Yeah.
And this last moment, I was like, I forgive you.
Yes. Yes.
Like, I'm like looking.
I teared because the second she's like, some things I was like, oh, it's gonna be Anakin. He's gonna be out there.
I didn't guess it. And I
didn't.
I didn't know what I didn't know what it was going to be. I was very confused at this point. I was kind of like, Ahsoka has to be going towards this temple where Balin's going to. That has to be the motivation. They let us know a little bit about that. She's like, oh, we're leaving, right? We're packing up and leaving. Maybe they're going there. Maybe they're not. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
But with that one moment, threw that curveball in there, I wasn't expecting to see Anakin again.
Wow.
And
so that really hit hard then.
And his face and how he's like, you saw that emotion, like that concern and that care, and it just, oh my gosh, I loved that. To me, it just, perfect.
Yeah, but that's and Andy, I do want to plus these in here. Yeah, I thought this episode did well playing the whole master and apprentice relationships, Ahsoka, Sabine, Kanan and Ezra, and even Anakin and Ahsoka at the end with his Force Ghost. I like that Anakin's Force Ghost watching over Ahsoka still on Paradia further illustrates Ahsoka's point from early in the episode that he was always stood by her, and absolutely right. And but to me, what I love is he had this kind of like because people have shown like the parallels between like when Ahsoka walked away from the Order and it was Anakin watching her walk away. And in this one, he's watching over her kind of truly take on this role of master to, Sabine the apprentice. And, to me, it's just like he sees that his lesson that he had with her in the world between worlds, it clicked. It actually, what he's trying to do, even beyond death, he's actually kind of making up for, Ahsoka leaving and then him turning to the dark side and him never getting to like finish, Ahsoka's training. It was just such a full circle moment with all the apprentice and master relationship stuff. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, I like that Andy points that out, because that was something that I was tracking through the episode, that moment where Sabine is trying to help Ezra. And then, of course, she's going to stay. She's going to stay. You didn't see her jump. It's like she's coming back. She's got to be there.
Oh, yeah.
And it really hit home that, like, I'll be there for you. You will be there for me. Even what Hu Yang said all the way back then. Oh, like, I just want them to stay together, you know. And then Ahsoka's understanding at the end, like, we're right where we need to be. Like this is the Force, like, leading us to this. This is what we have to do.
Yes. So, and that's what I love. It's just like, because now I don't know how much time will be, whatever.
Right.
She gets the chance to actually train and become like a Jedi of a certain caliber. She Sabine finally lets go and connects with the Force when she gets the lightsaber. It was a Force grab the lightsaber, and she finally has this moment, this clicking moment with Ahsoka, as well as her connection to the Force. And now she has no distractions of anything. That's what they can focus on here on this planet. Sure, we have, Shin Baddie, leading this, potentially leading this, nomad crew. And we got Bailen doing whatever he's doing. But still, I really like the idea of them being almost isolated, no cell phones. Let's just focus on, getting our Jedi training done. I think it's really cool.
No, that is funny. It's like, if we could all like unplug, like how much more we would be in touch with things around us.
And Hu Yang revealed that she feared Sabine would be dangerous if trained just further, showing how Anakin's fall with Scarn. Absolutely. And you're right. It is the same reason she wouldn't train Grogu.
Yeah. And it helps explain those character motivations from the very beginning. So things that maybe we had issues with, things that we were having difficulty understanding where these characters are at the beginning, where it kind of threw us, like, where are these characters at? What is going on here? It fills in those gaps in a satisfying way within a complete season. I so much want there to be more, but I felt like this was a chapter closing moment.
It was. It really was. I just want to post a couple chats before we keep moving on here.
Sure.
I love this from Charlie Weaver. Remember when everyone kind of hated the first few episodes? Y'all got Filoni'd.
That is his move. That is his move. He's playing. If you're playing poker, if you're playing poker with Filoni, he's definitely losing the first three hands.
Yes.
But he's taking the pot. He's taking that pot home, the whole thing. He's going to win it. So
it's the long con. It's a long play. Another Lost reference. Mutant Ooze, I kept telling people you have to let Dave cook. Exactly. Let's see. Dave is the true Star Wars master of nuance.
Yes.
Let's see. Just like Obi-Wan needed to be released from his guilt in his series, Ahsoka needed to be released from
Yeah.
hers. Yeah, 100%.
Andor won't be released from his until you watch Rogue One again.
He'll be released from his life.
Right.
Sorry. Gonna be released from living.
How?
Rest in peace.
Speaking of R.I.P., Ray Stevenson. And
yes, let's talk about him. Didn't get much in this episode, which is a shame because he's dead.
Yes.
Rest in peace.
Yes.
But
they'll figure out some way to write themselves out of this paper bag.
I think it's recast them, right? Like, I think it's just a recast, which sucks.
It does, but it's something that Disney needs to do with
Luke
they do. And Leia. Just do it. Pull the Band-Aid. Let's just accept that we're going to have a different actor for Luke and Leia and get them in there. Because if we're going to do Heir to the Empire, then we need the OT. Okay.
Yes.
And it's with a capital T. And recast Han, or use the other Han that you already had from the Han Solo movie, and age him. I don't know, but you can't rely on Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford.
They need the fact that you have Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, taking on these roles beyond the original trilogy. I mean, even though Hayden is, Ewan hasn't yet, right? But I feel like they just need to get it over with, because you're 100% right. Like, do you want AI generated, deep fakes, or do you want actors acting? And
as hard as it was for me to accept this Hera, after a season, I'm fine. That's Hera to me now. Okay, it's Hera to me in this show. Okay, when I watch, when I watch the show Rebels, that's a different Hera, obviously. Right. But they need to just accept that, because where it's worked. It's worked in Star Trek. I know that some Star Wars fans, might not cross over into that universe, but I've definitely, Strange New Worlds, love it. I love how they recast Kirk, they've recast Pike. I mean, they're taking it on.
And there's a history of it too. Like, even if stage plays and stuff, like you have the people that originated the role, but then you have people, 20 years later, get new people all the time playing the role of, somebody else. So I understand it's a little bit tougher in, on a screen, but you're 100% right. If we're getting to Heir to the Empire, this is, I'm of two minds about this. Okay, Matt. And because clearly Filoni is making the sequel series, whatever happens there, essentially irrelevant, because Filoni is going to right the wrongs of the sequel series trilogy by getting us the original crew back together. We're going to get the Ghost crew together. We're going to get the original trilogy crew together.
It has to,
right? It has to.
Yeah. If you and Andy in the chat also mentions they can Han, Chewie, Leia, Luke. If Thrawn comes back, like that they can't go unnoticed.
They're going to be in the mix.
Oh, we didn't notice this big bad showed up.
Yeah.
There's not been stories written about us fighting him.
And you got away with it in this series because Thrawn's not actually back yet. This is a lot of table setting. This whole season, if you want to critique it, it is a lot of table setting. It's getting characters back in the action. It's resolving a lot of stuff from the original trilogy and before the original trilogy for these characters. But if you have, true stakes in the prime Star Wars galaxy during an era in which our original trilogy heroes are actively involved, they need to be there. And so my question to you, Matt, is do you want, when they're all in the Millennium Falcon again, do you want them to have the faces of younger Han, Leia, and Luke? Or do you want new actors playing those roles?
I know they're probably going to go deep fake. I think they're probably just going to mask people over with their, but I think at least for the actors to act, it would be better for them to just have that come through. I mean, even Thrawn, like his facial movements, they're so subtle.
Yes.
I have it written down in my scrawling of notes here, but Thrawn soiling himself as Ahsoka keeps getting closer.
Yes.
So good. So, because
yes.
he knows, like, even with that little bit of information about Anakin Skywalker, he's like, I do not trust this person. I've never met them, but they are not to get any closer to me. Like, he knows. So, so I love that stuff.
It's tough because you're right. You're 1,000,000% right. Like, the transition of, and there's some people kind of joking, oh, is dad bod Thrawn? I was like, well, he's older. I don't know. Like, but to me, the acting performance is so good. Like it's the voice that we all grew to love in Rebels.
Correct. Yes. Like,
but now you have an actor acting.
Yeah.
With the same voice. There's no digital. I mean, sure, his eyes are red, whatever. But it's an actor acting, and that is the most powerful version of anything you can do. And while I think they absolutely up-leveled the Luke deep fake between his first appearance in season 2 finale of Mandalorian to the Book of Boba Fett series, I thought they did a great job with it in there. Like, wasn't perfect, but it was much better. So I just don't know. They've already kind of set that precedent.
Yeah.
So do they just keep going that way, or does Filoni go hard reset Sebastian Stan as Luke, which I think we'd all be okay with because he looks just like him.
Right. Yeah, I'm curious what people think we'll do in the what everybody thinks in the chat, what they'll do. I know Mutagen Ooze mentions Disney loves their deep fake, and they do. So that's probably what we're gonna get.
It's probably cheaper for them just to they've already bought the likeness and voice rights to all these people. So
yeah, but I thought they didn't have the rights to do that with Carrie Fisher though. Like they were going to finish what they did with episode 9, and then that was it. They weren't going to do anything else like beyond Rogue One. Like that was like a one and done thing. But who knows? I mean, but yeah, bring in Billie Lourd. Give her the honors of just being like, I will play my mom's character. Like, that would be like, I don't know. But at any rate, I do hope they keep going with Bailen's story. Clearly he was after something. I don't know what it is. I love to theorize that perhaps he was going to go back. He still has that PTSD trauma of Clone Wars. Maybe he was going to go back in time. Does he know that there's this world between worlds moment, or is he just going for pure power from, is that the Mortis shit?
I don't think he wants power because even he's telling Shin, you want power, I want something else.
Yeah, he wants to make things the way they should have been.
Yes, which is not. He's seemingly like. Again, I love that I have no idea what his deal is.
Yep.
And it's it makes him such a compelling quote unquote bad guy because it's like, I don't know his intentions and he's clearly up to something, but it's not your same old cliche, bad guy thing.
Yeah. He doesn't seem to be like Emperor. Like I want to I want the universe to bow to me, but yes, rewrite history, multiverse, perhaps.
And maybe this is their, mea culpa to the sequel series was like,
so
we're going to pull this one piece from the world between worlds and then we fixed it,
I just don't see them doing that. Like as much as Disney loves their deep fakes, they love the fact that they already have 7, 8, 9 in the can. If they let Filoni play in this sandbox, and is this the creative civil war within Lucasfilm? Is Filoni and Kathleen Kennedy? Does she have such an ego that she has just kept him kind of boxed in? Or
I know people like to give her crap,
right,
and I feel like anybody with sense, and I just for Kathleen Kennedy, she has a track record that is hard to argue against as a producer. I mean, a string of movies that you love and adore.
Yeah. Oh, she had. Doesn't she have her name attached to E.T. even?
Yeah, it's E.T.
Goonies,
Raiders, like just again,
yeah.
She was the driving force behind a lot of the Spielberg Lucas things you love.
I don't I'm not going to be on the Kathleen Kennedy He-Man Woman Haters Club. I just don't think it. Where do you go? Where do you go with that?
But
do you get a MAGA hat?
No,
I don't know.
No, but to me, I think it's if she is in tune and smart with, and I believe she is. She has to realize, and since they pulled a lot of these other projects back from, because they had like 27 Star Wars things, and they've really focused them down. I think we have to recognize that Filoni is the heir to
the Empire.
Lucas.
Yeah.
He is the heir to the Empire.
No,
and because he studied under Lucas, he was Lucas's apprentice,
and yet
in a lot of ways.
And there's been a lot of people that have been around Lucas, but he has that ability to see or to be a visionary in a way that that it's not just carbon copy. It's not just copy, cut, repeat with him.
Yeah.
You know? Yep. Yes, there are certain couplets in this that reference back to Empire. Even that ending, which is very Jedi, having Anakin off in the distance. It's like, I love that. I still go back to that moment. It just like, to give me that at the end, it doesn't feel like a cliffhanger. It feels like a little like gift. You know, it's just like, hey, this might seem like a weird place to end this, but this is just, you know, a stage in the Force.
And that's like, I feel like Filoni can articulate Lucas's story better than Lucas, to your point. Like, he's able to, like, if you hear him, just like the one that I love is when he's in that special feature where he actually explains why Duel of the Fates is like one of the most impactful things in the entirety of the Star Wars universe. And he's like, you know, this truly is, the fate of everything is in this duel, whether, you know, Anakin gets to be tutored by Qui-Gon Jinn or Obi-Wan Kenobi, and him understanding it at that level, like that genetic DNA level, I think is why it's really important for him to be at the reins of things. We do have Colleen is getting ready to join in. I know she loves Lord Bailen. Hello, Colleen. How are you?
I've been listening to some of your conversation. I got here a couple minutes ago. Hello.
You muted right as you were going to say something.
What I just realized is I'm logged in as you because I just did the broadcast, and I could have just let myself in for 6 minutes.
Oh yeah, I guess you had the power, but you didn't wield it.
Anyway,
the power was in your hand. Just, you know, some Star Wars stuff. This Ahsoka show, you know.
Talking about if they're going to recast Bailen or not.
Yes, we were speculating like Bailen and as well as Luke, Leia, and Han, because if they're bringing Thrawn into the Star Wars galaxy as we know it, such a big baddie as he is, like, do you recast? Like, do you have Billy Lord playing Leia's character? Do you have Sebastian Stan playing Luke? Or do you just do the deep fake thing? Like, are they gonna
deep fake?
Sorry.
Yeah, Colleen, you're cutting out. Like, what microphone are you using? Because I don't think it's picking up right. Tap it. Yeah, I don't think that's tracking right.
Let me try.
Okay.
Nah.
You can't? I changed it.
Can you log in not in my account? Because I don't know if it's ducking you or something like that.
Oh, that's a good point. Like when you get the echo when you do the things. Yeah, let me log out.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Well, we'll find out Colleen's like what she is thinking there. So
see, Dave isn't afraid of any era of Star Wars. I love it. I agree. Lucas straight up lost his mind with his retools of every tiny little aspect of the original movies. Completely agree. Andy Stutz, yeah, exactly. I never realized the Republic lost in the Phantom Menace until listening to Filoni explain that. Yep, 100%.
And it is make it a kind of a weird tragedy where it is like a kid's movie. You love it. You're like, everybody wins. Like, and you have that celebration music, but the celebration music has the Emperor's theme within it.
Yeah.
Which whenever I go back to it, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is there. It's just so good. So good.
And the fact that I think Filoni also understands the extended universe stuff.
Yes.
Because essentially he's bringing all this stuff in and making it canon.
Right. And I feel like it really started with Rebels when he was just like, I'm bringing Thrawn in. Like we've got, this stuff still matters, and you go back to that Twilight of the Apprentice episode, when Ahsoka says there's still truth in legends,
Yes.
Like it
yes.
gives you that kind of.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Cool.
Yeah. What did you think about that deep fake recast? What do you?
Yeah, where do you stand in that, Colin? Because I feel like if they as they should recast Bailen, and I feel like Ray Stevenson passed away, but his character has more to do. And I even think if you'd ask Ray, he's like, no, I want the true way to honor me is to let this character carry on in his original quest. So you have to recast that person. We know that, or it would be absurd if there's an Heir to the Empire movie or wherever this goes, you need to bring in the original crew since they're active. So the OT crew.
Yeah.
So when they're all in that, and we didn't get it in the sequel series. So when they're on that Millennium Falcon for the first time since the original trilogy, do you want that crew to be a recasted group of actors, or do you want them to be deep faked faces of the actors you know and love?
I don't see a scenario in which they wouldn't do the deep fake thing, because I feel like they think that the average viewer is stupid and wouldn't be able to handle a recasted actor. Like, isn't
sadly
one of the...
Colleen's right.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I like to believe. I like to like
that is like, I feel like the annoying fans ruined Solo, because I think Solo.
That was what I was going to point out with Solo,
Yeah.
which I still have never seen in its entirety.
Really? Okay.
You should. It's a really good movie.
Yeah. Well, when we went, we took Alex, and he was like 3 months old, and that was stupid because he was. Well, he slept through. He used to sleep so much, and he slept through all the other movies that we went to with him, and he just didn't sleep through that one. So I spent a lot of time outside in the lobby, drinking a beer with one hand and patting the baby on the back with the other.
Which is ironic because Solo is one of the darkest Star Wars movies.
Hey, we took him to see Black Panther, the first one, and he was great. The kid slept through the whole thing, didn't even wake up to poop. He was a newborn.
He was great.
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned Solo, though, because there is news about Lando coming out. And on the other show that I do, Owen and Baruz, those guys
Best
just
trashed. Podcast ever.
They just trashed it. The idea of Lando being a show, like they just were like, nope, panned it. Like they just think that that's the dumbest. I'm more of the like, no, I'm excited about this because I wanted a sequel to Solo, and I thought the best way to do that is to focus it on Lando. And we have Danny returning to that role and also writing part of it. So I'm thinking, oh, there could be some really funny, lighthearted kind of aspects to this. It depends on what time period that they do, but I don't know. You can agree with them. It's not going to break my heart. I'm excited about there being more Lando because it was going to be a TV show, and then they moved it to being a movie. So.
Again, that's another recast where I get it's like the younger whatever, but like I think Donald Glover perfectly encapsulates that role.
Right.
And I want to see him do it more. Like movie, whatever. I don't care.
I mean, I think that's just one of those moments where the actor brings something to the character that brings that character even more three-dimensional in a way, just like you can have a young Anakin. And, anyway. Back to this episode, though, of Ahsoka. Because they're...
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I just talk about this with you real quick? I think was the first one that we did. You were like, put respect on Kanan's name. They better do something with him. And if there was one of several crying moments in this episode for Colleen and I think the one that got me the most was in the lightsaber, room with Hu Yang.
Me too.
And finding the only other piece that he had for okay, just go ahead, Matt. This is you as the one who was calling for some respect on Kanan's name. What was your thoughts?
So good.
Even dropped to Jacob.
It dropped to Jacob.
Huh? What's his real name?
Caleb.
Oh,
Caleb. Sorry, I get my names that sound the same like that confused.
Well, no,
go ahead.
Caleb, and then there's also Morgan, which is a weird Earth name. But yes, that moment was so good. It was also great too because in the previous episode when we saw Ezra fight, and I thought there was going to be a moment he just whipped out some like large purple lightsaber and was just like doing something cool. So I was kind of like, oh, well, he's using his hands. He's doing the Luke thing. That's cool.
That's what she said.
Gets the job done. But then to see him.
That's what she said.
Sorry. There you go.
To see him making that and then to have that Kanan moment and you just could feel that like Ezra was lighting up just hearing Hu Yang like talk about him as a Padawan and then to pass that on. It made it really special. And not to lose that emotion, but to couple that with Ahsoka and, Sabine and their relationship in that same moment. I just think that that's really smartly written, as far as like, okay, this isn't just a throwaway moment here.
Yes.
We're pulling this together while showing you this master and apprentice moment.
Yeah.
I loved
so
every Kanan moment.
Oh, go ahead. No, finish your Kanan.
If they ever do a Kanan ghost, I'm probably going to be all tears. Like I'll just be that tear.
Who would play him?
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Freddie Prinze Jr., right?
Yeah. Freddie Prinze Jr. has to play.
I guess. Yeah, Freddie Prinze Jr., I think he would be super down to be in a Star Wars canon forever.
Well, he already is because I don't know if you know something.
Well, he's the voice. Yes, I know that. Yeah, I know that. I'm just saying, like,
you thought his name was Jacob in real life, so.
Well, Caleb and Jacob sound the same, okay?
I thought we were talking about Lost again.
Yeah.
You said Jacob. I was like, are we doing Lost?
But to me, I think Freddie Prinze Jr. has to play him live action.
Right? I'm with you. Yeah.
I agree.
It makes sense.
I agree. I'm sorry. Just go there, okay? I like Jason in the chat said, I really want to see Kanan's ghost appear with Force Anakin at the end, sending off their Padawans, but that would have been kind of cheesy, no?
No, well, I think you need to, because Kanan, his Padawan is Ezra. Sure, he trained Sabine a little bit, but it wasn't that level of connection. But and yeah, I could still Ezra taking on Jason as his apprentice. Now that he's returned, like the father becomes the son, becomes the father.
Yes, totally.
Ooh.
That would be.
Ooh,
I want to see him just talking to Jason about his father. Like,
yes,
just give me that moment. I don't care.
Okay.
I cried when he said, "Hi, Hera, I'm home."
Okay, I did too. But can I just say, I was a little peeved they did the Star Wars wipe edit like before they got the hug. I was like, I want to see the goddamn hug.
I wanted the hug. I cried anyway.
I wanted him to reach down and hug Chopper. I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess it's an appliance, so you just be like, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
You could hug. You could hug.
I love it. I mean, Chopper came up and everything.
I know. Chopper knew it. Chopper knew.
Yes, like a good little doggy. He except a droid. He
knew. Well, we got a $20 super chat here from
Wow.
Rick
you better read that one then.
Holy moly. Thank you so much, Rick. One of the most beautiful moments in Star Wars this past 20 years was the scene where Hera stops and listens to her son, Jason. Yeah. And when she puts all the drama aside and opens her mind, she hears lightsabers, and we are there with them. Love that.
Agreed. I think we may have even discussed that on a previous one.
Yes.
That moment. Because I loved that I got to see her be a mom and that and just how true that is. It just even a parent. I mean, it doesn't matter. You just have that moment where you're like, hold on a second, my kid's saying something right now. What do you and then to show that she cares enough to listen, right? Like we've also all been the kid that's been like, go away, kid, you bother me.
Right, it's just like in movies, it's always relevant, but in real life, you don't know the times like, hey, yeah, whatever. Or if it's I should be listening because lightsabers are off in the distance or something.
Yeah.
It's
most likely my kid's gonna be like, hey dad, there's like a dead body, and I'm like, whatever, kid, come on. Like,
yeah, okay. We gotta get to baseball practice. Let's go.
Could have been solving crimes.
There you go, Matt Bush. Maybe take the stormtrooper gear off before exiting the ship, Ezra.
How did he get clearance? Like they didn't shoot him down as he was approaching? Like, did he have a code, but it checks out? Would have loved to have heard that, but
yeah,
it's fine. We don't have to overdo all of the references.
Yeah, actually, just let it be. Matt Bush, I love this as well. Meanwhile, Luke is stacking rocks. But you know what, though? That's true to Luke's character. Luke is kind of a whiny beast sometimes, okay? I'm just going to say it. A little bit whiny.
We didn't talk about the Army of the Dead moment. Which
we've wanted it for a while. Filoni did it. Zombie stormtroopers. Come on.
You heard the bones crack.
Isn't it like the little fart purple stuff? Green stuff?
Green. And yes, the witches brought them back to life.
That's Harry Potter. Come on.
Sorry. Hey, listen.
Joking. There's not purple.
Nothing can embarrass me. No mistake I make right now can embarrass me more than when I cheered for the wrong team at the baseball game today.
Oh my God. No, here's the thing. She cheered for the wrong team. She cheered for the wrong team. And then she tried to overcorrect and she said, boo. I was like, it's a 9-year-old kid. You don't boo a 9-year-old kid.
Because look, they're both black and white, except our team was black shirts with white lettering, and the other team was like, gray white shirts with black lettering. I got very confused.
Hey.
But it was a really good play.
And Colleen's not quiet. Like, so she's like, woo, that was a great play. I was like, it's wrong team. She's like, oh, boo, boo that kid. I was like, whoa.
That's exactly what happened.
Oh my gosh.
Here's a great question. I had this as well, Andy. So my question is, were they dead before that fight or not? I feel like they weren't because he said this was a sacrifice they're making or whatever.
Yeah. And they even went out to point out, like, did this ever happen before to you? So like, that kind of to me established that because
I honestly thought that it might have happened last week when they were surrounded by all of those troops, and they kind of did the Thrawn surrounds them with the troops, and they take care of business, right?
Yeah.
And at that moment, I kind of thought, ooh, maybe this red binding is the thing that's like got the magic or something. Mm-hmm. But we still don't know what's in all of those crates as well, which is
the coffin thingies.
Is it Dathomir
witches? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Thrawn had to make a deal with them on some level, right? And Thrawn thinks he's so smart. I mean, that is his Achilles, is that he's kind of like so many
hubris.
Yeah. Yes, his hubris for sure. But he kind of, he has used them. He woke them up, which we found out in this. Yeah. So after the ship crashed. So we got 2 facts from Ezra in this, which was great. Yes. I love that we get these little pieces. Whether or not we ever see them on a flashback or we get a comic book or a novel, I'm here for it. So, so he's made a deal with them on some level, so yeah, I think they're Dathomir, warriors, perhaps. Even. Yeah. This brings up and I'm just let me just be crackpot Jack here for a moment.
Sure.
But the crackpottiest is that Lucas's sequel trilogy was going to bring Darth Maul back as a villain.
Yep.
We know that he is Dathomirian, and now we have these Dathomir witches. Could we see a zombie or some type of a version of Darth Maul come back as a villain? would they?
I mean, we've killed him once, but he seemed super dead the last time.
Yeah, and I mean that was so poetic how Obi-Wan.
It was beautiful.
I don't want, but could we have some other Dathmirian Maul-like warrior?
Yeah, I think you could. I think you bring another Dath, like, so if Thrawn is true heir to the Emperor, he's in charge, and he's gonna want like a, his own little, red sabered acolyte. Like, I feel like, you just get another, male Dathmiri to take on the throne here. But because I agree, Andy, and I think we kind of said this, but Maul's story, like it's a perfect ending for his.
And when the lightsaber poetry of it,
exactly,
it's the best.
It's perfect.
Yeah. So.
Or Andy Stew's bringing some good point. Reanimate Savage Opress.
I'm just throwing out those crackpotty ideas because I knew that was one of Lucas's original visions for his sequel trilogy. Will Filoni pull in some of those elements as he's trying to weave this tapestry? Because we're not going to get Heir to the Empire exactly.
No,
but I do think
and we shouldn't.
We may get a Mara Jade of some type.
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
do you think that Mara Jade is going to be Shin like Reddit does?
Oh, huh. That's I mean, I think she's her own person, and she wouldn't be of the right age.
Yeah. Because Shin's young.
She is young. She is young. It's Reddit. I was on the Reddits the other day.
Well, see, I'm shipping.
Gotta be careful.
Shin and Sabine. I mean, they've got looks for each other.
Yeah, Shin and Sabine shipping.
Looks for each other.
I mean, Ezra and Sabine.
Shin
and Sabine. I don't know.
Shabine. The whole Shabine.
The whole Shabine. We had two really cool Rebel moments. The force push jump moment.
Yes.
Which I just loved seeing that trust that she was going to do that, but we'd seen Kanan and Ezra do it. So Sabine knew that. She was just like, hey, you can do this. Trust me. And then we saw that other moment where as Thrawn's leaving, he's like, blow it up, light him up.
Yes.
Yeah.
What a cool image of them running off that platform, being chased by troopers, jumping. And you know who Yang's got to be there. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Like,
absolutely.
And again, we've seen this in Rebels too. Them running off, jumping, landing on the top of the ship as it rises. I loved it. I like that they pulled that out. So
here's a
Did
great
you guys talk about
point. Right. We thought this. Oh, I just want to plus this in. We'll talk and we'll get to you, Colleen.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
What about Starkiller, Witwer, Inquisitor, Villain? So that we were big on that earlier in the season. Didn't happen. Are they still in play somewhere?
Marak, or is he just a rock? Yeah.
Hold on, I got you. Where is it?
Morak.
There it is. Yeah.
He's just a rock. Good question. Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm in the J category here of just like, I love that this can go in a lot of different directions right now. That the field is kind of open. Yeah, like, how long are they going to be on this planet? Clearly they're going to get off this planet. When are we getting this Filoni movie as well? Because I think that also
December 24, isn't it? Or 25?
It's
on geekdadlife.com. Okay, we covered it when they did Celebration and announced it. It's December of some year.
Colleen knows.
Hold on,
I wrote it.
Share screen. Colleen wrote the article. Hold on.
I forget. Somebody that knows.
Well, luckily, geekdadlife.com has a great search feature.
It does have a great search feature.
So we'll search it real quick.
Every good website.
Let's see. What would you? Filoni?
I would search Filoni and it'll probably come up.
Filoni.
Filoni, right? Fil.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh.
No. Don't do movie. Oh, okay. There we go.
Look how great this search feature is. It's fantastic.
Yeah, look at those Filoni hats there too.
Oh, that's terrible artwork. I've gotten so much.
That is a Filoni hat, though. Look at that. You're right.
Yeah, it came up in the search menu.
The hats work. You know, they're like, hey, you like Filoni? We got you some Filoni hats.
Somebody say hat.
Left over from our Oppenheimer stream. Let's see.
The broadcast wants me to be Carmen Sandiego for Halloween with this hat.
Here's the thing, Colleen. It says a film directed by Dave Filoni that takes place during the era of New Republic will close out.
Then there's another movies one. Go to the movies thing. It's in there. They announced.
Whoa.
I know it's in there.
I need you to calm down.
Was there like D23 this year or something?
Mr. Shell, I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry, but mentions it'll be delayed. Quite possibly. I know that the writer's strike definitely delayed a lot of production. So
I shall find it.
I'm up close and
personal. I didn't put any makeup on, huh?
It's too personal. It's like my pores are
natural.
So big. So yeah, who knows when we might get that? But if that was in development, because I didn't think that they would close out or end Mandalorian. They're going to milk Mandalorian for more seasons, I would think. I mean,
yeah,
for sure. That's not ending anytime soon. So that's why I kind of thought that movie was more kind of out in, but I don't know. Let's see, what else do I have? By the way, that temple was really lucky to have doors. Okay. That's all.
I felt the same. I was like, wait, they have the same. They can run the same play of slicing the little thing to make it lock.
There's always a bigger door. There's always.
Oh my God.
Matt Bush, really? Okay.
All right, here we go. $10 super chat from Matt Bush. Everyone's rocking the super. Thank you so much for the super chat.
Yeah.
Save the domestic moments for Craig and Abby. If anyone,
I apologize, Matt.
Wait, what were you? Was Colleen yelling at me? I don't remember her yelling at me. It didn't even faze me.
Yeah.
What's Craig and Abby?
Oh, okay. So Matt, you're not in this GDL verse at that much. There's a good friends of the channel have their own Toy Anxiety is their channel.
Okay.
And they do streams, and it's a husband and wife as well as two friends do their stream. And so they joke whenever Craig and Abby are, fighting, quote unquote. They call it a domestic.
Okay.
I have put the post in the private chat.
Ooh.
Only because I can't log into the other chat.
Wait, what?
With all of you.
I like.
Anyways.
I like being privy to Craig and Abby.
Yeah.
It's a great show. Toy Anxiety Tuesday nights. 9 o'clock. 9:30. 9:30 Tuesday nights.
9:30 Tuesday nights.
Which they've had to go up against Ahsoka, but now they don't have to anymore. So hopefully, more trouble there. Let's see. Disney's updated film release calendar: Star Wars, Avatar, Marvel. Let's see.
So the Filoni one that takes place during the era that closes out the Mandalorian universe stories, including Ahsoka, I believe.
2027. That's forever away.
No. That one is 2026, December 18th, 2026. But the good news for that,
that's still forever away.
The good news for that is it leaves time for there to be a second season of Ahsoka.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah, because it's not going to be 2 more years. At the rate we're going.
I'm excited that they are doing a Dawn of the Jedi. That really it sounds exciting because you can go in a lot of different directions with that. I've read some of the Dawn of the Jedi books, comic books, and such. So,
well, the bad news for you is Dawn of the Jedi is 2027.
That's okay. I mean, when I hear people are like, "Why do a Lando movie?" I'm kind of like, why do a Dawn of the Jedi movie? I mean, it's kind of. I mean, I like the fact that they're going into a different, because you can go sky's the limit with that stuff. But anyway, you'll have your ghost by then. By the way, when do we get our ghosts?
Oh, okay. So you realize this is your first HasLab.
This is his first HasLab.
Baby's first HasLab.
I feel like this is part of this ongoing Ahsoka show. Like it
Matt,
started with me getting. Yeah. Okay.
No, you go first. You go first, and then I will. I'm not.
Do you want me to?
What I have to
am I
say.
supposed to like kind of guess? Like
no. Just go ahead, and then I'll
get
tell
it
you.
in a year's time, or
the best thing about the HasLabs is they just show up.
Oh.
And you're like, oh, okay. I didn't plan for this. I forgot I ordered this 7 years ago.
Oh.
Colleen's she's venting about like things showing up at her doorstep, and I forget that I ordered them.
Things showed up today.
They did. Some more Motu stuff. But anyway.
You know what's great? What's great about this?
It was another Snake Man. Sorry.
Is that my wife has all of this Amazon stuff. She is the online shopper of the household. And there's things that would never get bought if she didn't do her Amazon shopping. So I accept it for what it is. But it's like every day. I'm like, really? Like, so one day this thing's gonna show up unexpected. It's gonna be freaking huge.
It's gonna be big.
And she's gonna be like, what is that? And when
WTF.
WTF.
Is that no, so HasLabs at least take a year in most cases. So the Ghost HasLab ended in August, right? No, September. I don't know, somewhere around there. But so you gotta think around this time next year, Matt, we should have our Ghostesses.
Okay, so about a year.
Okay. About a year. But
Matt, this is what Jay calls a future Matt problem.
Well, no, it actually isn't in the case of HasLabs because you have to pay for them up front. So the cost of the thing has already happened.
Yes, but the telling of the wife has not. So again,
that still hasn't happened yet.
Oh, yeah.
It's a future
that
Matt
is a future
problem.
Matt problem.
You know, I thought about like my birthday's coming up, and I thought about just kind of saying like, oh, I went ahead and got this.
Happy birthday!
Your birthday, which is not the 5th of May. Or 4th of May.
It's not.
Here's the thing. We did get a couple more announcements on some figures to go with our ghosts. Hu Yang sold out on Hasbro. I don't know if you got your Hu Yang figure, Matt.
I did not.
I'll send you an affiliates link when it comes back up. But this is Pulse,
this is just Hasbro Pulse, so I'm sure it's elsewhere. But on Hasbro Pulse, Hu Yang sold out. I did order Hu Yang and the.
I love his voice.
Wait, why didn't you go through the affiliates link to do Hu Yang? I worked my ass off to put all of those in.
Well, you know what?
And it's on Amazon, which is also free shipping.
Listen,
and if you spend more than $79 on Entertainment Earth,
and I got the Rex helmet here as well.
Free ship, free fall 79.
That's cool.
Also free shipping.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
You got that helmet? Do you think Zach's gonna put that on his head?
No, because it's gonna be over here somewhere in my props area. I got my proton pack. I got my Obi-Wan lightsaber. I got my hoverboard right there.
Did you tell all the good people that you got your sit and stand desk?
I did, yes. Well, I haven't. I have a new desk coming.
Alert. So he'll have like a whole new like actual display angles now.
I will, because the desk has casters, so I'll be able to do different shots of my talking
move it
desk
around.
Look. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming. This room is getting a big overhaul, a lot of changes.
Nice.
And for our patrons, getting my desk in here will be a Patreon exclusive video of the new desk.
Because everyone wants to watch you set up your desk.
Hey, listen, that's prime content.
I might tune in just to find out what kind of desk you got, because I mean that sounds exciting.
It's a spoiler. It's an uplift desk. It's one of those sit-to-stand desks.
Stand. But I mean, to have your stuff on that and to be able to move it around on casters, though.
Exactly. Because there's just a lot of cool shots here. Like, I want to be able to have, like, this in the background sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I just...
No, I've been in your location there where you're sitting. I know. No.
That's right. Yeah, you've been in my home before.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I know. Well, and Jay, you pointed out I'm in a new location. Usually I have a bed behind me, which I just always feel weird.
I like this better. This is way better.
I'm kind of like some predator. I'm like, hey, I've got this bed behind me right here. You want to come over?
Hey, I've got a bed behind me.
Hey, I'm not the predator tonight.
Yeah, Colleen is.
It's okay when a chick does it.
I don't think so.
So I have my camera over by my studio area tonight, so showing off what I'm working on. So, but I also have like my kids have a huge Lego section, and I could always maneuver it, and I could be toy buddies, or I could have the ghost behind me whenever that arrives. So probably when we do Ahsoka season 2.
Uplift,
he tried.
I think that'd be great. Uplift is legit. I have one. Did they throw sponsored dollars at you? No, I reached out to Uplift.
It's been like 6 months of Jay trying.
And
to
I was like, hey, I plan to get a new desk. I want to make this a video series. And share the website, all the views and all that. Like I'm over 1 million views a year, yada yada yada. And they were like, oh, cool. Well, we don't do sponsorships, but we can hook you up with our sales team, and we have, this influencer discount or something like that.
Oh.
I was like, oh, great. That's really cool. So I reach out to them.
Yeah.
And the influencer discount was like $5. So I was like, so it was actually cheaper to they have like the trick I would say for Uplift is they have a clearance section, and so I got the same desk that I would have gotten otherwise for like $100 and something cheaper, which was cheaper than their influencer discount.
I mean, unless we can get 500 of you to
guess, but anyway, so it was.
Yes, sorry. Back to
Star Wars.
Movies,
okay,
Star Wars.
Final thoughts.
Matt. Did you guys talk about Morgan Elsbeth being?
I guess we didn't talk about her being a witch.
She was on the first of my list here. I had Morgan becomes witch.
She's dead.
Morgan is dead. Well, she had the Blade of Talzin, which is another Clone Wars callback.
Yes,
it's a big deal.
That was a big deal. Yeah. Read about that too. I mean, I've seen the episode, but I was just like, oh, hey, this is something here. And so it was cool to see live action with it, the flame. She becomes a witch, and then of course Thrawn does his ultimate like, hey, yeah, you're gonna have to stay behind and work Saturday for me. Need you to come in and just this Jedi
keeps... that face too is like, mother. Really? I literally help you freaking get out of this hellscape.
I brought you the ring of Ion or whatever. It's a scion, okay? Yeah, I also had in my notes here Sabine splitting the 2 TIE fighters. It's like a bowling kind of trick. I thought there was like a reference to do or do not, there is no try. I don't know if I'm just reading into this, but there's a moment where she's talking with Ahsoka, and you got to know that Ahsoka probably gave her this lesson. But she says, are you training? And she says, I try. And then she laughs and she's like, I do. And I was like,
oh, I didn't even catch that.
I was like, is that like there is no try?
Yeah,
like,
a little deep cut.
Yeah. So
I don't know. Just cheesy enough to be the thing.
I don't know if I'm reading it. Listen to it. You guys watch it. I could be reading too much into it, but you got to know that she had that lesson at some point. She's like, hey, you can't, there is no try. So
Andy Silva said he caught it too. So
okay, great.
Okay, you're not alone.
All right. And he's brought up a lot of the things that I've forgotten to mention too.
Well, so Andy's he's been covering the series on. Remind me the website.
Andy, tell us again where you're covering, because we're doing Owen and Baru's barbecue. You're doing something. I'm on here doing GDL. Colleen.
Oh, he's been writing. He's been writing for it on the DraftKings network.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I knew that. Why didn't you just ask me?
So anyways, and Paul Galliano, I think that was definitely that reference.
Okay, good.
Wait,
okay.
What part was that?
Also, can I just want to appreciate hold on, can I just time out real quick?
Sure.
This is really important.
Yeah.
Can we just appreciate how handsome Paul looks in this fucking picture right here? He looks so good, Paul.
And that is a spectacular headshot.
That's a pro headshot right there. Handsome as hell.
Paul,
Colleen, if you remember, Paul was the nice gentleman who took the
you
picture
as Ross on Friends.
Yeah.
Okay. you look better.
He's like a handsome Ross. You're right. Like he's like a good-looking version of Ross.
He's the good-looking Ross. Like if Ross were to imagine himself looking like this in the future, that's Paul, you got it.
No, that's what Ross looks like in his mind.
Exactly. I'm saying, Ross, like in his idealized version.
When he's dancing in that New Year, the
a classic. A classic.
Yeah.
Anyways, Paul, love you, my friend. But looking good in the picture there.
Matt was gonna tell me what part that was again.
Okay, so it's right after it's right after the opening sequence where Sabine goes out onto the Jedi Starfighter and Ahsoka comes down to kind of talk to her.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And they have this, and she says like, "Have you been training?" And she says, "I try." And then she's like, she laughs and she says, "I do." And then it's a kind of like there is no try, there's only do. So I felt like there was definitely like an inside.
It was cool.
Any other notes, Matt, that we didn't cover yet?
No, that's pretty much all my
Can I just real quick, I probably missed this, gauge what everybody thinks about Force Ghost Anakin appearing?
We loved it.
That was one of the things we were
You did? About. I thought it was kind of cheesy. And I was in the middle of like
That's it. I just can't do this.
Wow.
Anymore.
Wow. You know what this reminds me of? Is Craig and Abby. Okay, so just to catch Colleen up to speed, I was not expecting it.
He didn't see it coming.
I didn't see it coming, and so then when it did happen, it surprised me. I thought she was looking off to where maybe this temple, wherever they were going, and then when we do get that pullback, and then his look on his face of like concern and like care, it made me love the fact that young Anakin got replaced in Return of the Jedi, because I've always hated that Force Ghost switch.
Everybody hated that.
But this made me enjoy it and appreciate it. And damn it, if that's not Filoni for you, he like makes it better than Lucas.
He sat up at night and was like, how can I fix all of these things? And then I have one more question. What did you guys think about? Did you guys? I know you talked about Bailen and his story continuing. So you obviously talked about the Mortis, the father, the son, and the daughter there. Did you think it was a cool touch that the daughter was headless because Ahsoka is still there and her essence is still in Ahsoka?
We talked about that too. Yeah.
You did. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. You forgot to talk about other things. So.
Whoa. All right.
We do forget.
But you know what? That's part of the joy, because this is just a partial conversation. There's so many people in our community, just the GDL community, that talk about Ahsoka right now, including shiny plastic people and more. Geek the F out. Like there's a lot of other people.
Which I was on last week. Yes.
You were on last week. And Craig and Abby on Yes Have Some, they're doing their own Ahsoka show. So there's no shortage of conversation. This is just our conversation for whatever it is. And then Matt does his own Star Wars podcast called Owen and Brew's Barbecue, which you can find on iTunes. Subscribe today.
Best name for a Star Wars podcast.
Best name it is. Let's just finalize some chats here before we get to your final thoughts. Scott D, I miss huge statues of the son and daughter on either side of the huge father that Bailen was saying on at the end. I love it so much.
Yeah, the son was there, but the daughter you had to look closely.
Yeah.
I had to last night actually. I stared at the picture and then I was like, oh, there's the daughter. I
saw it immediately. It's like she's just missing her head. The head fell off.
Yeah, I'm blind, so I had my contacts in. I can't see as well with my contacts. So.
Which is scary, but whatever.
I know. Bush, I take them out to drive at night. Don't worry.
Sabine, I force move my lightsaber, so of course I can force push Ezra. Yeah, there's like a little bit. She got better. She got the
confidence.
She had the confidence.
Once she got the confidence, then you feel like you can do anything.
Sabine got her groove back.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Or to begin with, I don't know.
Luke just hears the word force and gets to wave his stick around, and all of a sudden he can focus that to a proton going into a thermal exhaust port.
Okay. Everyone is different. Like
No, I think Matt's making his point where he can just push a beam into a port.
Yeah. Sure.
Andy Silva, I didn't chip on the fact that he wasn't wearing his. I agree. I like it better with it. Doesn't make sense for him wearing that weird Sebastian Shaw robes. Just put on his Anakin's dark robes. All right, it's who he is. Mr. Michael T, how will Ahsoka, Sabine, and Huyang get off the planet and leave the galaxy unless more Purgle come along? They're stuck. Well, all Zepho Easter eggs this season, probably Zepho ship. I don't know. I think there's a multitude of ways to get off of there. In plenty of ways, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's definitely different ways that they get off. This show has surprised me and has gotten better with every step. Yeah. And we have gotten some of the best action sequences. I mean, we had multiple in one episode, and it's like hard to pinpoint. I mean, her jumping with the wolf dog beast through the laser blast, visually that was just so stunning. And that's not even the best scene in the whole episode. It's just one of 10 dozen. It's just so I'm here for more of this. So
agreed. Do you think they film more Bailen scenes for this show and edit them out because they want to use them for future show? Could make sense why he was only one season. Now I think that's it. I think we gotta recast him if he's gonna continue on, which sucks, but he's dead. So
I kind of had this brief thought today, because one of the website I write for part-time wanted me to do something about Ahsoka, and I was thinking about it today, and I was wondering if perhaps something like that, maybe, and then I quickly talked myself out of it, but maybe it was just that one scene and they threw in that shot and they put that behind him, the mountains behind him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure. From a green screen perspective.
Or maybe he wasn't even supposed to be in the last episode and they threw that in to give us kind of closure for his something for his story, or closure for the actor or something. I don't know. I was thinking about that. I don't know.
I don't think so, just because he died well after the show was done. So I feel
he died in May, right?
It's not too dissimilar from Heath Ledger dying after The Dark Knight, where he did all of his work on the movie. So the movie, as it would have been whether he lived or died, had all of Heath Ledger in it, just the same way this had all of whatever Ray Stevens was supposed to do. And I think you either somehow just, unlike Dark Knight, where you could just say, he's off in Arkham or something. But this one, his story is it has a very strong purpose. I think you have to recast him.
I also saw a theory going around, or not theory, but speculation out there. What if they did a animated version with his story, so they could continue with Stevenson's likeness, but tell the story?
To me, there's no difference. I
think the other thing that they could do, maybe story wise, is if they have a plan with his character, they say, well, we're gonna have Shin complete his journey or something like that.
Yeah.
It's
hard. It's hard to do that.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm kind of with the recast, or explain it away with something else.
Because I think it would dishonor Ray Stevenson's amazing work for this character that clearly had more to do to basically offshoot it to a comic book, right, or just not really dig into it. Again, if I was the ghost of Ray Stevenson, I would rather see his story play out on screen as they probably intended it to.
Yeah.
With somebody else picking up the mantle.
No, I think you're right.
Because sure, you could do comics, but it's just not everyone reads all the comics, right, and it's not. I'm not saying you can't do that, but I would rather do his character justice that he actually brought into it by playing it so well, by letting it play out on screen.
Yeah. No, I agree. Sorry to take us on a tangent. I apologize.
No, that's okay.
Well done.
Lightsaber duels were badass. Some of the best live action lightsaber duels we've seen. And all right, it's time for final thoughts. Okay. We've been talking for a while. Matt, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. We didn't even mention the title of this episode, which references Narnia.
It was yes!
So good. It was such a surprise. And I just wanted to say that. That was my final thought.
Okay.
That's
fair, Mr. Michael.
Was it about the Jedi, the Witch, and the Warlord?
No, it's the Jedi, the Witch, and the Warlord, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. Which feels like it's a reference to Narnia, and this world is like Narnia in that way. I think even the title Dreams and Madness also kind of reference that.
It is a reference to Narnia, and I read an article on Screen Rant today about it, but now it's escaping me. But I did reference, they went through all the references to Narnia. A+ me.
She did it, folks. She read an article.
Call it a done day.
Yeah, we did it. Put up the banners. Colleen, final thoughts.
No, I've talked too much. I want a second season. The end. I'm gonna go back to my Clone Wars rewatch, which I've been doing.
No, I agree. I think absolutely there has to be a second season. I feel like we're a little if anything, we're feeling the anxiety of not knowing what comes next or when we're gonna get it. But I think overall, a fantastic first season, a true Filoni live action series, did not disappoint. And at every turn, I love the live action representation of these characters from Rebels that I love. And I can't wait to see the Rebels Ghost crew all together again in live action. We didn't get it this season, but we gotta get it whenever. I can't wait for that day to come. And yeah, I think that's it. Final thoughts. Done.
Great season. Yeah,
it was.
Surpassed Kenobi. Surpassed Andor, and I loved Andor, but I love the nuance.
Andor was so good.
Andor's like a tier just right underneath.
Andor is incredible TV. An incredible series and a different angle in the Star Wars universe that I appreciate at such a high level. It's like grown up Star Wars.
Yes. I
love it for that.
I don't want to take anything away from that.
Yeah, it is perfect for what it is.
Yeah.
But you're right. I feel the same way as you do, Matt, where Ahsoka is Star Wars.
Yeah, it's firmly rooted in. It's like we're almost on a side adventure into this like other avenue in Andor, where I get to be in that universe at a very high level of vision and creativity that I love.
It's incredible. Yeah.
But this is Star Wars to me. This show, and I still stick by that. And Ralph aside,
Matt,
Ralph.
you and I are big Rebels fans, so I can understand how for people that didn't watch Rebels or didn't really dig it or whatever, they'd be like, it's not my favorite. So I can understand if that's your perspective. You're not probably gonna be as hot about it as Matt and I are, but for me,
that's
I
fair.
Loved it.
Yeah. On to season 2, or whenever I'm back on this show again.
Whatever. Next time there's a Star Wars thing.
There's a Star Wars thing.
If you've loved Matt, please check out
series next. Oops, sorry.
Please check out his Star Wars podcast, Owen and Brews Barbecue. You'll all be talking about this tomorrow, right?
We will. We'll definitely be talking about it tomorrow. So you can always tune in to see what the other two thought of it and how I defend my love of different scenes.
Yes, and the YouTube channel is Owen and Brews Barbecue. So
you have your own YouTube channel now?
They've had their own YouTube channel.
Yeah, I just don't know if I publicly post those. Do I? Do I post?
You don't, but you have it. You can stream it. You can.
Maybe he doesn't want it publicly.
Oh, if you don't want to, then JK. Just kidding. Sorry. All right. Good night.
Say good night, Connie.
So you can find Matt on Owen and Brews Barbecue on iTunes and apparently YouTube, as well as at Everyday Inventors on TikTok. Colleen does her own podcast weekly on iTunes called The Broadcast, which is her and two other of her close friends. And what is The Broadcast, Colleen?
The broadcast is a show. No, I'm just kidding. So we don't generally do live YouTubes just because my two co-hosts don't want to. Given their day jobs, I understand why they don't want that out there. But no, it's a it's a fun little show where we start by shooting the shit, and then we cover topics that have happened during the week, and then we laugh about them.
It's a classic, friends
sorry,
talking
I'm very
about
bad
stuff
at promoting
podcast.
myself.
But check it out, Broadcast. It's a great show. And you know what, Matt? I think you should do a live. It should be live. I'm a big proponent of live.
Okay.
Matt isn't. But anyways, check out the podcast on iTunes.
He does that to me too, but given
I tell Colleen do it live because Colleen spends like 10 hours editing her show. It's annoying.
No, I don't spend 10 hours. But given what they do, as Matt knows, you can understand why we don't.
I don't know. We do our CAD live, so
you do.
I just whatever. Thanks for having me. This has been great. Loved Ahsoka.
Love it too.
And thanks for having me.
Thanks for letting me come on here and say embarrassing things.
All right.
I loved every minute of it, Colleen.
On that note, that is it for this season of Ahsoka. Hit subscribe and the bell. Whatever next Star Wars thing we'll probably talk about on here, plus whatever other GDL live streams that we want to do, toys or otherwise. We'll see you all next time. Hasta luego and goodbye.